humongous opportunity for some clubs to get themselves a bit of a cup run this campaign as the Carabao Cup returns for round 3. We got our latest round of picks coming at you next. That's right, folks, back once again in a prediction video today. We're looking forward to match number 3, or round 3 in the Carabao Cup, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe and get your bang up to date. All things Carabao Cup related, Blackburn Rovers related, woo, football related. We got it all here, boys. Under one roof. That's right, round 3 coming around. Of course, and the big boys are here, including those in the Europa League and Champions League competitions. They're here to, of course, get themselves onto a cup run. But, of course, who will come out on top at the end? We'll take a look at that and more in just 1 second. Of course, a big shout out to my mother, BRPs. We're talking about my pay tree. On to big shout out to you guys, and of course the new guys, Connor Medlin, and of course Jim Watton, of course, becoming the latest members of the gang. If you want to join Jim and Connor and the rest, check out the link down below, patreon.com/RoverC. So here we go, bring it bang up to date with, of course, a recap of round 2. Here are those picks, and of course, we'll bang up to date with the prediction league. Alright then, let's take a look at the last round of matches then, shall we? Of course, this is the north section. We'll take a look at that, and of course, the leaderboard for this in just a second. Let's get going then, shall we? Oldham against Acton Stanley ended up as a 0-0 draw on the night. Penalty was the deciding factor. Oldham go through, Stanley go out. Meanwhile, Wigan also go through on penalties, beating Bolton 0-0 on the night as well. So they go through. Of course, got themselves not too shabby on those picks as well, even though it went the right way. Huddersfield Town against Everton was a 2-1 win going in favour of Everton. Big win for them on the road. Meanwhile, Sheffield United continue to grind some results out with a 2-1 win over Derby to go through as well. Stoke also go through, 2-0 win over Doncaster. Of course, having a shit time over in League One. Shrewsbury, though, crashed out to Rochdale with a 1-0 win for the hosts. Forest also crashed out with a 3-2 win for themselves. Of course, now, of course, under new management, but that doesn't matter because they are out. Wolves 4-0 through. Morecambe also squeezed. Unfortunately, they tumbled out. I went with the 1-0 win for Morecambe myself. 4-2 in the end. It was for North End. Sunderland squeaked through by beating Blackpool. I went with a 2-2 draw, and I went with penalties, but it was a 3-2 win. So, you know what? That's not too shabby in the end as well. Leeds also came through with a 3-0 win. Not too shabby on that. Of course, Villa smashed past Barrow 6-0 in the end. And, of course, then Freaks, Burnley got through on penalties as well. So I did pretty well on that one. But how about you guys? How did you all get on? Here are your picking kings. Your outright leader is Max Wiggins for, of course, this week and this week alone, beating Omar Esquivel, the Mexican sniper, and Jack WAFC and the chasing pack. So, of course, they're all in the mix. We'll take a look at the grand scheme of things in a minute. We'll combine those with these, which is the southern results. Of course, Brentford got past Forest Green Rovers, then Pesky Vegans 3-1 in the end. We will also sidestep Cambridge. Norwich crashed out with a 6-0 loss. That's right. Actually, Norwich went through, taking out Bournemouth 6-0. Sorry. Meanwhile, Cardiff also got knocked out. Brighton go through 2-0 on the night. Birmingham also go out. Fulham go through 2-0 to them as well on the road. Gillingham knocked out by Cheltenham Town on penalties, 1-1 after the full time. QPR tumbled through. Oxford tumbled out, 2-0 win in for them. Swansea 4-1 winners over Plymouth to go through. Stevenage go out. Wycombe Wanderers go through on penalties as well. Northampton they were tumbled out by Wimbledon. That's right. Watford beat Crystal Palace 1-0, 2-0 for me. And of course, Arsenal 6-0 demolition over West Brom. And of course, 8-0 though for Southampton as they smash past Newport County. And again, I did pretty well for myself. But what about you guys for this week? Your kingpin for this match, this side of the draw is Yannick Buster though, picking up 13 points. Now we're going to take the north and the south, and of course the round 1 fixtures, of course, combine them to, of course, the leaderboard, which is right here, right now. These are your grand scheme of things. Again, it might need a bit of cleaning up, but of course the kingpin is Ivan String with 41 points so far, not too shabby. And then of course 3-way tie is Sexpert with Twilso with 21, Sheffield also up there, and Omar Esquivel with 40 points. That's the grand scheme of things in the Carabao Cup. So now if you want to get involved, this is the link right now. Cup.4/League Cup gets you in the mix, of course. Free to enter, have a bit of fun, see how you do, and let's get cracking then, shall we? Kick it on forward with the next round of matches, which is round 3. We're going to start with QP Bloody Arb against Everton, of course, at Loftus Road. Now these two sides, Colin Marbury played each other 13 times since 1993. 4 wins for QPR, 6 wins for Everton, and 3 draws. The biggest win for QPR over Everton. 3-0 win, the biggest win away was a 4-0 win. Of course, Everton coming to this just one defeat about 6 games. Meanwhile, back-to-back defeats for QPR have them wobbling. Of course, that's our pleasure in QPR in the Premier League. That was, of course, back in March 2015. 2-1 win for Everton. Everton actually won 4 in the bounce against QPR. They're unbeaten in 6 games at least against QPR as well. Coming into this, of course, they did lose to Villa, though, at Villa Park this weekend. Of course, QPR losing to Bristol City as well. The odds on this one, we have QPR 7-2 for the victory, 13-5 is your draw, 4-3 is your Everton. They are your red hot favourites on this one, but of course it could go to penalties and all that kind of jazz. I'm actually going with a 2-1 for Everton on the road to take it to the bank. Next way, of course, Preston North End. They're going to be taking on Cheltenham, of course, at Deepdale. That's right, again, taking place on Tuesday night. But never played each other, these two sides. Of course, it'll be the first occasion. Preston give it 3 draws with about 75% form, unbeaten in the last 6 games. Meanwhile, Cheltenham just 1 defeat in the past 6 games. That's, of course, 67% form for them. They give it on the back of a 1-0 win against Oxford. Meanwhile, Preston give it on the back against West Bromwich Albion at Deepdale. In fact, so like I said, 3 draws and about. So the bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this? We have 2-1 on as your Preston, 11-2 is your Cheltenham, and of course 3-1 is your draw. I'm going to go with a win for Preston North End to go through to the 4th round. Who will they take on? Of course, we'll look forward to seeing that when that comes around. Next up, of course, Fulham up against Leeds United at Craven Cottage. Of course, familiar foes out in the Championship. Of course, but now, of course, Leeds are Premier League bound. 8 played each other 18 times in 2001, 6 wins apiece and 6 draws. Of course, the biggest win for Fulham over Leeds, 2-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-0 win. Of course, Leeds come into this just 1 win in 6 for them. A couple of draws knocking around. Meanwhile, Fulham come to this just 1 win in the past 3 games for them. Also, the biggest win for Fulham over Leeds, 2-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-0 win. Of course, last time played at Craven Cottage was a 2-1 win for Leeds. They've actually won 3 in the bouts against Fulham. Of course, 2-1 win. That was back in March 2021 in the Premier League. Of course, Fulham come to the back of that loss against Reading. Meanwhile, Leeds come to the back of that draw against Newcastle United. Odds on this one, 13-8 is your Fulham. Of course, 23-10 is your draw. 8-5 is your Leeds United on this one. I'm going to go with a win for Fulham. Oh no, I'm not. I tricked you. 2-0 win in the end for Leeds. That's right. The Premier League team will come out on top. Next, of course, we have Brentford taking on Oldham, of course, over at in Brentford. Of course, played each other 22 times in 2003. 11 wins for Brentford, 4 wins for Oldham, and 7 draws. The biggest win for Brentford over Oldham. 2-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-0 win. Of course, Brentford just 1 defeat in the past 6 games for them. Meanwhile, 3 games without a win for Oldham. Of course, 58% form for them as well. Meanwhile, last time played each other in Brentford was the 1-0 win for Brentford. That was back in December 2013. Brentford unbeaten against Oldham of the last 6 occasions, picking up 5 wins and just the 1 draw. That 1 draw was, of course, at Boundary Park. Of course, Brentford did beat Wolverhampton Wanderers this past weekend. However, Oldham did only pick up a draw against Hartlepool. The odds on this one, Brentford are 5-1 on for the victory, 5-1 is your draw, 12-1 is your long shot. That's Oldham, of course. But anything can happen in the Cup. Anything. 3-0 win, though, for me, for Brentford to take it to the bank. Next over, of course, Watford. They're going to be taking on Stoke City, of course. Interesting. I don't even see this one, but we'll have a little go at it. Of course, I've got to dig my roots out. Here they are, Watford. They're taking on Stoke City. This is going to be at Craven Cottage, I believe, also on the Tuesday night. Of course, these two sides, but familiar foes over the past few years. Played 24 times since 1993. 8 wins for Watford, 12 wins for Stoke, and 4 draws. The biggest win for Watford over Stoke, 3-0 win. The biggest win was a 2-0 win. Of course, Watford come to this 3 wins and 3 defeats in the past 6 games. Meanwhile, Stoke just 1 win in the past 4 games for them as well. Last time played over at Watford was a 3-2 win for Watford back in November 2020 in the Championship. The odds on this one, though, go in favour of Watford. They are very hot favourites on this one. Stoke are your long shots. Of course, the draw is there if you want it. Of course, going to go with a 2-1 for Watford on this one to take it to the bank. Next, of course, Wigan Athletic against Sunderland. Of course, League One foes, of course, locking on for the 23rd time. The previous 22 have gone in favour of 9 of them. Have gone for Wigan. Of course, 7 have gone for Sunderland and 6 draws. The biggest win for Wigan over Sunderland, 3-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 4-1 win. Of course, heading into this Wigan have just 5 wins in the past 6 games, looking very, very good. Meanwhile, also 5 wins or 4 wins in the past 6 games for Sunderland, though, unbeaten in the last 5. Of course, last time played at Wigan was a 2-1 win for Wigan. That was back in April 2021. They also played this season already in the league, and it was a win for Sunderland as well. Of course, Sunderland coming to the back of that draw against Fleetwood. Wigan coming to the back of that win against Accrington. The odds on this one, what do we have on this one? 11-8 is your Wigan. The eye favourites, of course, 2-1 is your away win. That is, of course, Sunderland. 23-10 is your draw. I'm going to go with a win for Wigan at home to take it to the bounce. So then, of course, we have an all Premier League affair. It will be Norwich. They're going to be taking on Liverpool, of course, also on Tuesday night. These two sides play each other. Didn't they just play each other in the Premier League? I think they might have done. Anyway, they played each other 17 times since 1994. 1 win for Norwich, 13 wins for Liverpool, and 3 draws. The biggest win for Norwich, 1-0 win. The biggest win for Liverpool was a 5-0 win. Of course, they did play each other back in August. It was at the start of the season, 3-0 win. It was for Liverpool. They've actually won 4 in the bouts against Norwich, and they've been pretty good as well. Back-to-back clean sheets against Norwich as well, heading into this one. Of course, Norwich coming to the back of that loss against Watford. Meanwhile, Liverpool come to this back-to-back wins, of course. In fact, 3 wins in the bouts, beating Leeds, beating AC Milan, of course, beating Crystal Palace as well. Back to, of course, this match will be over at Carrow Road. 5-1 is your Norwich, 20-11 on is your Liverpool, and 14-5 is your Cup run here. Who's going to be on top? I'm going to go with Liverpool on this one. 3-1 win to take it to the bank. Next, of course, we have Burnley up against Rochdale in the Northwest. Crunch clash, of course. These two sides have played each other, according to my nice. Just the one time in 2012, 1 win out of 1 for Rochdale. Of course, that was a friendly though. Doesn't really matter. Of course, Burnley Competitors back-to-back defeats for them. In fact, just 1 win in 6. I mean, Rochdale Competitors unbeaten the last 6 games, looking very, very good. 83% form. They come to the back of that draw against Mansfield. Meanwhile, Burnley Competitors back-to-back losses against Everton and of course Arsenal. Of course, the odds on this one, they'll go in favour of them 6-fingered freakers.
Burnley, that's right, it's a 4. It'll be a 4.
4 to 1 on for Rochdale on this one. 17 to 4 is your draw. 9 to 1 is your long shots. That's Rochdale on this. Of course, Burnley are your favourites. I think I'm going to give it to them. 2 to win in the end. Next up, of course, have Sheffield United against Southampton. That's right, at Bramall Lane. Also on Tuesday, bloody night. These two sides play each other. 13 times in 993. 4 wins for Sheffield United. Of course, 6 wins for Southampton and 3 draws. The biggest win for Sheffield United. 3-0 win. The biggest win in the away was a 3-0 win as well. Of course, Southampton unbeaten the last 5 games. Also, Sheffield United also unbeaten the last 5 games as well. But 67% form for Sheffield United. Meanwhile, 50% form for Southampton. Of course, the last time played over at Bramall Lane was a 2-0 win for Southampton. In fact, they got back-to-back clean sheets against Sheffield United, of course, and actually won 4 on the bounce. 4 on the bounce. Actually, out of the last 4 matches against Sheffield United, they've only conceded the 1 goal. Wow, wow, wee wow. Of course, Southampton coming to the back of that draw against Man City on the road. Of course, Sheffield United coming to the back of that win against Hull City as well. Look at the odds on this one. 5 to 2 is your Sheffield United. 6 to 5 is your Sheffield Southampton. 11 to 5 is your draw. Going to go with a 2-1 with the Saints on this one to lose. Sheffield United take it to the house. Manchester City up against Wycombe. This could be a bit of a cricket score here. Of course, Locking Horns over at the Etihad. They play each other, according to my knowledge, no time. So it'll be the first time they play each other in a long, long time. Anyway, coming into 75% form for Manchester City, unbeaten the last 5 games. Meanwhile, Wycombe back-to-back games without a loss. Just 1 win and 4 though for them. They're coming to the back of that win against Charlton. Meanwhile, City coming to the back of that draw against the Saints. 0-0 draw as well. Look at the odds on this one. We're going to be going 40 to 1 on is your City, 12 to 1 is your draw, 20 to 1 long shots. That's Wycombe, of course. They could play a bit of a weak inside and get found out, mugged off, of course, but a good chance for Wycombe to get a surprise under their belt. But unfortunately, they'll lose, and I'm going to go with a 4-0 win in the end for City's reserves on this one. Next, of course, we have Brighton. They're going to be taking on Swansea. This is in the Wednesday's games now. Of course, Locking Horns over in the Amex Stadium. They play each other 8 times in 2006. 4 wins for Swansea, 3 for Brighton. 1 draw. The biggest win for Brighton over Swansea. 4-1 win. The biggest win in their way was a 3-0 win. Of course, last time they played each other over in Brighton was a 4-1 win for Brighton in the Premier League back in February 2018. Of course, Brighton coming to just 5 wins in the past 6 games. Meanwhile, Swansea just 1 defeat in the past 6 for them. However, without a win in 4. Of course, Swansea coming to the back of that draw against Luton. Meanwhile, Brighton coming to over that a big win against Leicester City on the weekend. Of course, back-to-back wins for them as well. Looking very, very good for them at the moment. 30 to 8 on is your Brighton. 11 to 4 is your draw. 5 to 1 is your long shots. That's Swansea on this. Going to go with a 3-1 win for Swansea on the road. Of course, I expect some surprises on this one. That's probably my first one in the hat right there. Next, of course, we have United. That's Manchester United against West Ham United. They just played each other at the league. Of course, they're doing it again in the Carabao Cup. Played each other 59 times since 1993. 36 wins for United. That's Manchester United and 8 wins for West Ham United. Of course, then 15 draws. The biggest win for you. Manchester United was a 6-0 win. The biggest win there was a 4-0 win. Of course, United coming on the back of that win against West Ham, which of course they played last time around, of course, over at the London Road. It was a 2-1 win for United. Last time they played each other at Old Trafford was a 1-0 win for Manchester United as well. They've actually won 4 in the bounce against West Ham United heading into this. West Ham are heading into this one. They've just lost once the past 6 games, of course, against Manchester United as well. And of course, just 1 defeat the past 6 games for Manchester United. That was, of course, against Young Boys Burn. 2 to 1 on is United, 3 to 1 is your draw, 6 to 1 is your long shots. That's West Ham United. Manchester United favourites. Ronaldo did just score, of course, the other day. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win on this one with a clean sheet to boot. Into the final stretches now. We have Chelsea against Villa. Again, these two sides, of course, have just played each other, right? No, have they just played each other? No, Aston Villa just took on. Who did they just play? Did they play Everton, of course? Anyway, these two sides played each other familiar foes, I think. Heading into this one, played each other 55 times in 1993, 29 wins for Chelsea, 30 wins for Villa, and 13 draws. The biggest win for Chelsea over Villa, 8-0. The biggest win in the was a 3-0 win. Of course, Chelsea gave this 5 wins in the past 6 games. The only hiccup was a draw as well. Meanwhile, Villa just one defeat in the past 5 games to them. Of course, they did play each other, of course, back on the 11th of November. It was a 3-0 win for Chelsea. Of course, that was at Stamford Bridge as well. I can expect a similar scoreline, I feel, in this game. Of course, Chelsea are your red hot favourites. 5-2 on for the victory. 7-2 is your draw. 3-2 is your away win. That's, of course, Aston Villa. Going to go with a 4-0 win this time round, as, of course, I expect Villa to play a weakened side, and I think Chelsea will play another weakened side, but their weakened side will be much, much stronger, and, of course, we'll get another win as well. Next, of course, another old London affair. It'll be Arsenal up against Wimbledon at the Emirates, of course. They've never played each other. This will be the first occasion. Of course, Arsenal come to 3 wins in their past 4 games. They're looking good at the moment, up against Wimbledon. And they take on Wimbledon, who've just lost once in the past 6 games for them. That one defeat was, of course, against Plymouth last weekend. Of course, Arsenal coming to us back-to-back clean sheets, of course, picking up wins against Burnley and, of course, picking up wins against Norwich as well, as, of course, they get points under their arms, or under their wings, should I say. 6-1 on your Arsenal, 32 is your draw, 12-1 is your long shots. That's, of course, Wimbledon. Arsenal will win this one, 5-0, another clean sheet to boot. Into the final two now, Millwall. They're going to be taking on Leicester, of course, in the what can we call this? The Jamie Vardy derby or the Harry Kane derby? Have they played each other? Have they? Has he been on both these two sides? Harry Kane, I think he might have done. Anyway, played each other 21 times since 1993. 8 wins for Millwall, 9 wins for Leicester, and 4 draws. The biggest win for Millwall over Leicester was a 3-0 win. The biggest win away was a 4-0 win. Of course, Millwall unbeaten the last 5 games, picking up 3 draws to boot though in a succession. As for Leicester, without a win in 3 for them, just 1 win in 5. That's the picture at the Den was the 1 win for Millwall. That was back in February 2017. The odds on this one, 3-1 is your Leicester, 11-10 on is your... So 3-1 is your Millwall, 11-10 is your Leicester, and of course 35 is your draw. 2-1 win for Leicester on this one to take it to the house. That's right. You could possibly go in favour of Millwall because, of course, Leicester are in a bit of a rut right now. So you probably could. If you want to go for an underdog or an upset, I'd go for that. And then finally, another 2 teams that play each other already this season is Wolves up against Tottenham Hotspur. They played each other 50 times in 2003. 4 wins for Wolves, 8 wins for Spurs, and 3 draws. The biggest win for Wolves over Spurs. 3-1 win. The biggest win there. It was a 5-2 win, of course. Wolves 2 wins the best 6 games. Meanwhile, Spurs without him in 3, of course, not looking good at the moment. Last time played each other was, of course, at the start of the season, of course. 22nd of August, 1-0 win for Spurs over Wolves at Molineux. So, of course, it'll be a repeat of that match. Of course, Spurs on the back of that loss against Chelsea. Meanwhile, Wolves on the back of that loss against Brentford. Both sides need to win. Of course, 13-10 is your Wolves, 23-10 is your Spurs, 21-10 is your draw. Of course, the Wolves are your favourite on this one to get the win. I've gone with a 2-0 win for Spurs, though, to bounce back and, of course, get some points. So that will not point. Get, of course, moving in the next round. Maybe get a cup run themselves on the offering. But that's my picks. Of course, be sure to get your own picks. Of course, using the code Cutley/League Cup. That's, of course, gets you in the mix for round 3. That's it, boys. Give the video some love and smash your thumbs up. Smash your subscribe. Check out the Instagram on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course Patreon as well. Until then, I'll see you soon for the next one. Until then, we are done.